We can add two algebraic fractions using the cross-multiply method that we've looked at during lessons. To begin with, multiply the denominators. We can evaluate that straight away. 2 times 5 is 10. Then cross-multiply. So a times 5 is 5a. And 2 times 2a is 4a. Finally, we can simplify that numerator, and so we should. So it becomes 9a over 10. Subtraction works in pretty much exactly the same way. To begin with, multiply the denominators. 4 times 5 is 20. And then cross-multiply. So 3b squared times 5 would be 15b squared. And then 4 times 2b would be 8b. And this time we're subtracting. It's very important that we have these the right way around. It has to be 3b squared times by 5, subtract 4 times 2b. When we were adding, it didn't really matter which way around we did that, you'd get the same result. But when we're subtracting, it's very important that we get this the right way around. Looking at these terms on top, this one is a b squared term, whereas this is a b term. They're not like terms, so we can't actually simplify that any further. In this example, as before, we begin by multiplying the denominators together. So b times 4 we would write as 4b. We then cross-multiply. 4a times 4 is 16a, and b times 2a squared is 2a squared b. Now if we look at each of these terms to see if we can simplify further, starting with the numbers, 16, 4 and 2 all have 2 as a common factor, so we can divide each of these by 2. This term has an a in it, but this one doesn't, so we can't simplify or cancel out any of the a's. Likewise, while these two have a b in the term, this one doesn't, so we can't do anything with the b's either. This leaves us with 8a plus 1a squared b all over 2b. And that's as simple as we can make this fraction. In this example, adding these two fractions is actually even easier. Both of them have the same denominator. So straight away, we know that the result of adding them together is going to be a fraction with the same denominator again, x. And then we can simply add 3 and 2 together to get 5. In this final example, before we even start trying to subtract the fractions, we can simplify them a little bit. Looking at the first fraction, we can cancel out this x squared on the bottom, and the x cubed would just become x to the power of 1. And looking at the second fraction, again we can cancel out the x on top, and the x squared would become x to the power of 1 as well. So now we just have 8x over 3, subtract 4y over 3x. Now we need to multiply the denominators together, so we get 9x, and then cross-multiply. 8x multiplied by 3x is going to be 24x squared, and then 3 multiplied by 4y is going to give us 12y. And we're remembering this time that we're taking away. We can now look at each of the terms to see if we can simplify this any further. 24, 9 and 12 all have 3 as a common factor, so we can multiply 24 by 3 12 by 3 and 9 by 3. There's an x in this term and this term, but not here. And there's no y's in these terms, so we can't cancel out any of the letters. This leaves us with 8x squared minus 4y over 3x. Here are 4 more pairs of fractions, which we can try to add or take away from each other. In a moment, pause the video, and using either your mini whiteboard or a sheet of paper, try to subtract or add each of these fractions as shown. When you're ready, press play, and the answers will be revealed one by one.